What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex back again from Team Generations, here with another budget deck profile. Today we're going to be checking out an updated Sorcerers / Witches deck for Genesis, looking at some of the new support that we received out of Divine Lightning Radiance. Honestly, I feel like this deck is so kind of like overlooked. I believe that this is pretty much the best value in Vanguard right now. Like if you're looking for something to introduce your friend to the game, or even yourself, you're not really into Genesis or whatever the case may be, this deck is like less than $20, and honestly it's such a fun playstyle. You get powerful columns, you sit your rear guards on force 2, you apply pressure throughout the game, you have a lot of different like selection things that call cards, so a pretty intricate strategy overall for, dirt cheap. This is probably the cheapest deck I've put on the channel, and like, I don't know, I'm having a ton of fun with this. Am I winning every game? No, but for the value that you're getting out of this, I think this is really awesome. So without further ado, let's jump right into the deck profile. Super excited to bring this to you guys. Alright, before we begin, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to all you guys. Thank you guys so much. We're at 190 subs. Really didn't expect that. If you do learn anything during this video, maybe consider hitting that like button, also subscribing to the channel. But without further ado, let's jump right in. So we are running 4 of our boss unit herself, White Rainbow Witch Pyrithra. This is our main ride target every single turn. Its skill on Act on Vanguard Circle once per turn. This ability's cost is reduced by Soul Blast 1 for each of our rear guards with Sorcerer or Witch in its card name that we called this turn. We can also Soul Blast 13, and until the end of turn, all of our units with Sorcerer or Witch in their card names get an additional 10,000, and this unit gets a critical. Its second skill on Vanguard Circles once per turn, we get to counterblast 1 and return one of our rear guards with Sorcerer or Witch in its card name to our hand. So kind of a lot to unpack here. I know at face value this kind of looks like, oh my god, Soul Blast 13, I'm never going to get this off, but pretty much everything in this deck kind of works to fill the soul, call things out that just help facilitate this, and that reducing by Soul Blast 1 is actually pretty important. Like, I think out of all my testing games, there's only one first grade 3 ride that I could not get this off. So overall, I think this is like a really, really great skill. Like if you're looking at your grade 3 rear guard boosted by a grade 1, we're looking at a 41k column, also a grade 2, I think, what does that bump that down to, like 38 or something. So overall, like, you're riding this, getting a force 2 marker, putting it on a rear guard, she's getting a critical herself, and then, if you rip a crit, you might want to put that on your last one, wherever you want to put it. But overall, this deck really provides power and pressure consistently, so long as you can get off that soul, and its second skill really helps just kind of add to its first skill in that it reduces the cost of her Soul Blast 13. On top of that, that card that you call may just fill your soul a little bit more. It might just put like that one card you need to hit that criteria. So very effective overall. A simple strategy in a lot of ways, but there's like certain subtle complexities to it, so I'll kind of go over those in just a bit. But yeah, and then for our last grade 3, we're running 4 of a backup grade 3 unit. This is who is this? Spiritual Sorcerer Croat. This came out a couple sets ago. I don't remember off the top of my head which one, but on Van or Rear Guard Circle, when placed, we can Soul Charge 1 for each one of our units. So awesome card. Really, really makes this deck work in a way. Basically, you pop this guy down last, and then boom, you're soul charging 6. Like if you have a full field, and a lot of other cards call other cards, if you have a full field, pop him down, you soul charge 6. I will say later in the game, just be careful, because if you have 2 of these guys, like, you want your biggest columns possible, you pop these guys down, just make sure you count the amount of cards that you're going to put into your soul, because it's very easy actually to deck out with this card, and there's tons of other cards too that kind of call and soul in, so just, again, make sure that you are counting that. But yeah, this is really what makes our grade 3 Vanguard go off. Moving into our grade 2 lineup then, so this is some new support out of Divine Lightning Radiance also, I believe. This is White Phosphorus Sorcerer Revoluta? Oh my god, I'm butchering all these names, I'm sorry. On Rear Guard Circle, when placed, we can Counterblast 1, reveal 3 cards from the top of our deck, put 1 card from among them into our hand, and then put the rest into our soul. So kind of doing 2 things for us. Adding any card that we want out of that top 3 to our hand, and then we're just stuffing our soul. So the more we have in soul, the easier it is to pop off her ability, our Vanguard's ability, and then this guy just helps us cherry pick too. Like if there's something else that can kind of extend your play, you may be able to get that to your hand, maybe generate a little bit more resource, whatever you need. And this is a sorcerer also. Again, everything in this deck has a sorcerer / witch name. There is nothing that does not have it. Spoiler alert. It just sucks that he's on rear guard only. It would be really nice if that was a Vanguard skill. Speaking of rear guard only, we are running this guy as well for a Falling Star Sorcerer Vine. I think this is Vine, right? I'm not that blind. Yeah. On Rear Guard Circle, when placed, we get to discard a card from our hand, choose a normal unit from our soul, and then return it to our hand. So this sounds like a pretty hard neg in a way. So we're calling 1 from hand, that's neg 1. discarding -2. We put something into our hand then, so we are just technically, I guess, -1, but overall we're soul charging a lot. I find that later in the game, especially, like if we have a really fat soul, it might be, you're guaranteed to pretty much have something in there that you want to bring to your hand, so having him able to cherry pick your soul, whatever you really want, is really, really useful. So I think that it is a decent card. There is a, I forgot if it's a grade 2 or not. There was like a promo card. I think he might get bumped down for a little bit more room with that card, but we'll see when that comes out. I'll let you guys know if I'm going to update this. But to round this off, we're in a very like big, large column kind of meta right now, and as such, I think we need a lot more shields just to kind of live a little bit longer. So I'm running 2 of this guy. This is White Cloth Sorcerer Colts. I think this came out in the Colts. I don't know. I'm kind of blind. I don't have my glasses on. Sorry. But yeah, he is no skill, just a 10k shield. So overall, if you need to intercept, if you need to, if you don't have both your grade 3s in the rear guard column because you don't want to, deck out or just soul charge too much, this guy's a good option. Just leave him in the front row. If he doesn't get removed, he's a 10k shield, so it can really help, but yeah, not bad in hand as well. So nothing too crazy there. I'll move right on. We are then getting into our grade 1. So we are running 4 of Spring Source, which, oh my god, Thesis? I don't know. On Vanguard Rearguard Circle, if your opponent's Vanguard have the same grade, you may pay Soul Blast 1 for this cost. When placed, we get to Counterblast 1, look at 4 cards on the top of our deck, reveal 1 card with Sorcerer or Witch in its card name, put it into our hand, and put the rest of the bottom of our deck in any order. So this is actually a little bit more intricate than it appears, I think, on the surface level. So Soul Blast it's not like a huge deal for us. Like obviously we're trying to hit that 13. There's going to be so many times where you have over 13 or over whatever the reduced cost might be. So Soul Blast 1 is good for a little bit later in the game. Counterblast 1, you get to look at the top 4. So we can, this is basically our grade 3 searcher. It can search any Witch or Sorcerer. So really, like, you're kind of just fixing your ride if you need to. Like if you have her, you can put her on Van, do that. Just very, very nice skill. I know it's not top 5, but it is 4 and it's any card, so like I said, you can get a grade 2 with that also, but very, very useful. And it also helps us too, because with the grade 3 searcher, that doesn't share a Witch or Sorcerer name, and you want everything on the field to have that, because you pretty much will be getting that skill off, your Vanguard skill off, every single turn, and you want her to receive, and every card basically to receive that 10k bonus, so she allows us to do that. Also, I know it says to put those cards at the bottom of our deck, but like I said too, we actually thin out our deck quite a bit in this deck. You can basically, like, if you're on, I don't know, like if you have 3, 5 cards, whatever it might be, left in your deck, you can basically rig and start stacking triggers based on what you want, with 5 cards left in the deck, 4 cards left in the deck, whatever it is. So just be cognizant of that as well. If you need that magic heal to start off a turn, you can also rig it like that. Moving on then to, we have a really nice grade 1. I love this guy. This is Supportive Sorcerer Communis. I'm going to say it's Communis. Alright, his skill on Vanguard Circle is when placed, put a card from your hand into your soul and draw a card. So kind of like a filter, but not exactly filtering. You're just giving yourself a little bit more resource for later in the game. His second skill is really, really awesome. It is on Rearguard Circle. When placed, we get to Soul Charge 1. And if our Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, we get to Soul Charge 1 again. And one of our Vanguards get 5,000 until the end of turn. So this is pretty much not always my... not always her second skill target, but oftentimes I find myself using it. So I pop him down, Soul Charge 2, give her 5k, get him back to hand, pop him down again, give her another 5k, Soul Charge another 2. So now instead of being a 41k column to crit, at least, this now becomes a 51, a little bit harder to guard overall. So I find this card to be very, very effective. I definitely like it. So yeah, running it at a 4 of. Next up, we are running something that came out, I think, in the Answer of Truth, is one of the original sets. I think that was the name of it. This is Witch of Cats Cumin. I think this was reprinted also in Festival Collection, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though. On Rearguard Circle, when placed, we get to Counterblast 1, rest this unit, and return one of our standing rearguards to our hand, or put a card from our drop zone into our soul. So, up to you. I know that this is worth the counterblast, so kind of heavy in that regard. Like a lot of things also have a cost associated with it, like the grade 1 Searcher, the grade 2 Revoluta, but if you need to, you can pop. I find myself popping him back to hand, putting him back down, and soul charging just a whole lot. So even if you just have one of these, you can make it work with her and really give yourself pretty much like almost the entire cost of your Vanguard skill just off of that 2-card combo. So, and obviously you can combo this with other cards as well. Just nice to get stuff bounced back to your hand sometimes. And then for our last grade 3, this guy's pretty simple. We were running Witch of Pure White, Claire. Yep, Claire. There we go. So I know a lot of people run like the grade 2, grade 1 combo. Wasn't too big into that in playtesting, just didn't get it off as often as I would like. Plus I want to free up my rearguard slots for those grade 3s just to get as big of a column as possible. And I think there's a promo also coming out like I mentioned too. Oh, man, I wish I remember off the top of my head. I'll put it up on the screen at this point, but or maybe I won't, I don't know. This skill is when it attacks on rearguard circle or the attack it boosts hits, you may soul charge 3. So pretty simple. The thing about this card is kind of telegraphs your plays. You don't always want to be soul charging a ton, but this is good for the early game, I feel like if you put it behind a Vanguard or, you know, even behind a rearguard to make them hit. Sometimes they need those counterblasts to get their first grade 3 ride or whatever ride it is off, and they'll just let you soul charge those 3. So you can stack your soul a little bit earlier in the game, which I kind of like. So I'm running it at a 3 of, not necessary, but not bad at all. All right, moving into our trigger lineup then. So this is actually pretty interesting. I just want to point out really quickly. We're running 4 draw right here. This is actually a witch. So this is White Emperor Witch Presmo. So it has that witch name. You know, you really don't want to be calling these things 2 field, but you can call both of these 2 down. This is 4 heals, obviously. Witch of Big Pots Laurier. So if you really need like 1 card to hit that threshold, like God forbid you call down a heal, but you know, you could call down that draw trigger just to kind of lower the cost of her skill to make it actually active for the turn. And then we were running 8 crits. So it's pretty standard force lineup overall. I am running the Sentinels in here, the crit Sentinels. I just find that since it's a budget deck, like the other draw PGs are kind of expensive, so I'm not going to include it in here. You can totally slot them in if you'd like, maybe play with the ratio like 6-6 or whatever, but I'm kind of liking these. Like I feel like we do go through our hand quite a bit, so sometimes having to discard another card along with the perfect guards just kind of hurts sometimes. So I think this works. I don't think it's too bad at all. And again, this is a budget deck, so just not going to include those PGs, but overall not bad at all. And then we are running the new starter. Doesn't have to be any specific starter, it could be whatever you choose. So let's check out a test hand with this. I'll show you guys how to play it and some of the just different combos you can do with it. So yeah. All right, let's shuffle up here and get this started. So yeah, this deck is like super fun. Honestly, I think it's like I said, kind of overlooked. I know it's not like a mainline budget deck. The Eradicators one was. We also have a video for that on the channel in case you guys are interested. But I think this deck honestly plays really, really nice. It's not on the same price level as that Eradicators deck. Like this is Kitchen Table Vanguard at its finest. Just super fun overall. Like I'm gonna put these 2 back. Super fun, just like a real strategy. This isn't like some half-baked couple cards put together. Like you have a goal, you have a purpose, which I really, really like. So missing a grade 2 here kind of sucks, but let's see what we can pull off. We have the grade 3 support card, which is really strong, and then the Vanguard as well. So nice that we got those 2 in hand. Let's keep shuffling. There we go. All right, and with all of our test hands, we just pretend that we go first. We're going to stand and draw. Speaking of the devil, we got 1. All right, so I'm going to then call him. I'm going to draw for the ride. I'm going to use his skill. Put a card from our hand into our soul. Who am I going to put? I'm going to put her. Don't think I need her. I'm going to have to burn a lot of counterblasts, I think, with that. So put her into soul and then draw a card. All right, and we're going to pass it over to our opponent, take a damage for their turn. Boom. All right, my turn now. I'm going to stand and draw. All right, wow. And these guys, I definitely shuffled that too. All right, so I'm gonna ride one of them just because I want to get off this guy's skill. I'm gonna call him his skill, counterblast 1. Then I'm going to look at the top 3 of my deck. 1, 2, 3. Put 1 card into my hand and the rest on the bottom of my deck. So we already have one of him. I don't know that I really need a second, but I am gonna do it. Actually, yeah. Just in case, because the first grade 3 ride is pretty much the hardest to get that soul blast off, so I'm going to put the rest into my soul off of his skill, and then I'm going to swing and then swing again. There we go, boom, no trigger. Over to my opponent. We're going to take 2 damage, let's say, 1 and 2. Alright, that shuts them off. My turn. I'm going to stand and draw. Alright, I am going to ride the Pyrithra. There we go. I'm going to put a force 2 marker on my rear guard here because she does get that critical. I really want my beefed up rear guard then to apply pressure with the second critical as well. So let's do this. Yeah, let's toss her down first. We're going to use her skill. We're going to counterblast 1. We are going to then look at the top 4 of our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we get? Let's see. Good. I actually kind of was looking for him. This is actually really nice. We're going to add him to hand, and then we're going to put the 3 back on the bottom of the deck in any order that we want. Whoops. Oh god. There we go. All right. Now let's proceed on. So again, that was 1 called so far for this turn. We are then going to call him. His skill. We're going to soul charge 1. It's a Vanguard. It's grade 3. We're going to soul charge another. This is +5. We're going to use her skill. Counterblast 1. We're going to return him to hand. We're going to call him down again. And we're going to soul charge 1. Soul charge 2. So that was 1, 2, 3 so far. So we have to hit 10. And our soul is at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we already are at our threshold for that, which is really, really nice. Let's see, let's call him down. Let's use his skill just to get off 6, or actually 5, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Dang, keep on soul charging all of our Vanguard targets, but that's not too bad. There we go. Let's see, I'm also, you know what, I am gonna do this. I'm going to call him, discard one of him. Yeah, I'm going to discard one of him, and I'm going to grab one of her from my soul just to have him ride for next turn. But yeah, let's go into it now. Going to Soul Blast. How many did I call? 1, 2, 3, no, it's 13, 9. I need to Soul Blast 9, I think. 1, 2, 3. Actually, let me Soul Blast all the triggers first. It's always important because you can grab things out of soul with him. So that's 1, 2, 3. And that grade 0 is 4. And let's see, what else do I not really need? I don't need that. 4, 5. 6, 7, and let's do 8. All right, and yeah, we can do 9. So that is 9. So our skill is live. The entire field gets +10 now. She gets an extra crit as well, and plus this guy got called down twice. So this is now a 51k column, 2 crit right off the bat. 1. Let's do power heal. Let's heal anything out. Doesn't really matter. And then 2. Alright, no trigger there, but not too bad. This guy becomes 51k 2 crit as well. And again, our opponent's on grade 2 right now, so this is like, they don't have a protect marker in their hand. They have to drop a lot if they don't have like a perfect guard. So really setting us up for our next ride next turn, but swinging with this guy. This is again 50, oh no, I'm sorry, this is 10, right? Yeah, 10, 20, 30. This is 33, right? Yeah, this is 33, so not as impactful because I don't have that thing behind him, but still not bad overall. Swing again, this is like 38, so just pretty big columns overall, name of the game. And as we can see, it's really not difficult to get our soul set up with that 13 or even less with all lit calling that we do. We have our ride target for next turn, and we also have that support card to really stack our soul if we need. Just like I said, very, very fun deck, has like a real strategy, applies pressure early on in the game, applies pressure throughout pretty much constantly. The only flaw, there's obviously no multi-attack, and there's also a deck, you know, just deck out kind of issue. Eventually, if you call down like 2 of these guys one turn, try another the next turn, you know, that's like 6 cards, that's an 18 cards out of your deck, you know, aside from damage checking, just drawing regular stuff as normal. So overall, very fun deck, like I said. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the content, please remember to leave a like on the video, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. And this is Alex from Team Generations, signing out.